No! Broncos country, out of frickin' nowhere, after a 14-3 season, the Denver Broncos have fired offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi. Now, the first thing you might be thinking, Broncos country, by the way, welcome into the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Moose. The first thing you might be thinking is, well, he didn't call plays, Moose, so what's the big frickin' deal? I'll tell you what the big frickin' deal is. This is the trickle-down effect of what I see as Davis Webb calling plays next year for the Denver Broncos. I'll explain what I mean here in just a moment. First things first, though. One-word reaction to the Denver Broncos firing Joe Lombardi. My one-word reaction. Wow. Insanity. Insane. I did not see it coming. I had no inside sources tell me this was even happening. And yet, all of a sudden, on Tuesday, after losing in the AFC Championship game, the Denver Broncos make a move that I believe will end up seeing Davis Webb calling plays here in 2026 for Bo Nix at the quarterback position. Let's give some shout-outs to the people that are already in here. Wow. Michael saying finally. Cornelius saying unbelievable. Paddock saying finally. Broncos Prod saying good. Get your one-word reactions down in the comments. Devin saying, I want Davis Webb. Time to level up. Insane. Love it. Why? I'll tell you why, Noah, here in just a moment. Why I believe this is a huge, huge move by the Denver Broncos. Big Dog RO saying go Broncos. Danny Galvin saying amen. Trezzy saying refreshing. Like an ice-cold glass of water in my Broncos Stanley. Lord saying about time. Keep Webb at all costs. Whip out the checkbook. Do me a favor, by the way, if you are just joining us, hit that thumbs up icon. If you want to see Davis Webb calling plays in 2026. Come on, man. Let's go. Unbelievable. I cannot believe this news today. I got Jack Lotteray on the ones and twos. Coming in. Just, what a time for you to get to the office, by the way. It's just ridiculous timing. You get here, the news breaks, and we're out of the gates and ready to go, as one former Chat Sports host would say.
I know Denver folk can't, they're going to scoff at this, but we got Alaska right now. It's just ice, snow.
It is very cold and
everything.
And icy.
It was a journey getting to the office today.
Certainly.
But we're here and we got news.
We have news.
As you said right before we went live, I love content, and this is content.
For our job, it makes it better, but for the Broncos fans, I'll tell you why I believe this is huge news. And I was just done here, I'll show you real quick as you can, I'll close this out so you can see. Look who I have been texting with. I don't know if you can see it. It's my wife, by the way. Ben from Sports Talk Denver. We've been exchanging some text messages back and forth about this move. Now, I will tell you why I believe this is indicative of a huge offensive momentum swing. Let's think about this from the top down. If Sean Payton is not giving up play calling in 2026, then there is no reason to fire your current offensive coordinator, because we all know that Sean Payton is just going to ride into 2026 with the exact same mentality. We also know that Davis Webb, has been interviewing for not only the Raiders head coaching job, but the Buffalo Bills head coaching job. Well, the Bills go out and hire Joe Brady. The Raiders' job is still very much on the clock and ready to grab if you're Davis Webb. So here's what I think happened. Sean Payton went to Davis Webb and said, what's it going to take to keep you at Mile High? And Webb goes, the only way I'm staying is if I'm calling plays as the offensive coordinator. So how do you make room for Davis Webb to become the offensive coordinator? Step one, you fire Joe Lombardi. I mean, it just makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense that Sean Payton is going to give up the play calling duties to Davis Webb, who we all saw this preseason do a tremendous job with Jarrett Stidham. Can you imagine what it's going to look like when he's calling plays for Bo Nix? Oh, it's just, yes, Leadhead, do I know that he's demanding to call plays? Of course not. But think about it rationally. If he's got the opportunity to go be a head coach somewhere, what do you think he wants to do? Sean's not giving it up, bro. Then why fire Lombardi? Why would you promote Davis Webb? Now, nothing's happened yet, but this is what we all can rationally believe is going to happen. I'll continue on with what I'm talking about here in just a little bit. But first, I got to tell you about our friends over at Rocket Money. Countless hours every single month, allocating time to restructuring my financial package with my wife. And now with Rocket Money, I don't have to do any of that, believe it or not. It's so much simpler for me. And let me tell you about our friends over at Rocket Money. I've got to tell you, like I said, when it comes to saving money when an app cancellation is in play, there is nothing more than I trust, because Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending and it helps you lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Their dashboard lays out your total financial picture, including bill due dates and paydays, in a way that is easy to digest. You can even automatically create custom budgets based off of your past spending. Rocket Money is user-friendly and continuously saves me money every single month. That's why you've got to download Rocket Money today, because it saved users over $2.5 billion, including $880 million in canceled subscriptions alone. Their 10 million members save up to $740 a year when they use all of the app's premium features. So let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/BroncosChat. That's rocketmoney.com/BroncosChat. One more time, rocketmoney.com/BroncosChat. All of that in the comments and description of today's video. Guys, why would you keep a great young talent if the great young talent isn't doing anything in your offense? You know what I mean? Let's think about this from a rational standpoint. If Sean Payton wants to keep a great young talent in his system, he's got to do something that he's willing to give up. Because Webb has opportunities to go head coach. So why would Payton just fire one offensive coordinator who's not doing anything in order to promote someone to offensive coordinator who's not doing anything?
Webb's not going to turn down the Raiders head coaching job just to get a title raise and not do anything important.
That's exactly correct.
No, I know. That's what I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, I know.
It's clear. Well, maybe not clear, but it at least sounds like they really want to keep Webb.
Yes.
Because you're right. You made the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
With what you were doing. So, you can just keep what you're doing if Payton wants to continue to call plays. But obviously you want to keep Webb. And I totally agree with you here.
Here's my next question. I'll play devil's advocate here. Let's say Sean's not willing. Let's say he's not willing to give up play calling, right? Then what is this move for?
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like
what's the point of this?
Why not stay with the status quo at that point?
Exactly.
You'll lose Webb. He will go be the Raiders head coach. which sucks. But you're going to keep basically your entire offensive status quo. It makes no sense at that point. Why are you firing your OC for no reason?
Well, and if Webb takes the head coaching job, he will call plays as the Raiders head coach. He will call plays as the Raiders head coach. The rumor was that he was going to go to Vegas and hire Brian Daboll as his offensive coordinator. Well, Daboll's now with the Titans. So if Webb still chooses to take the job in Vegas, he will call plays. So why would you give up the opportunity to call plays as a head coach unless you know I'm going to call plays at the place that I'm currently at? It makes too much sense why this move was made. Dr. Checkmate coming in with the $2 super chat. By the way, if you want your question answered, the best way to do it is to send it a super chat, my friends. That's the easiest way that we'll see it. He says now keeping Webb is a priority. I agree. I agree. And if you are going to keep Webb, there's only one reason. You are willing to give up play calling. And Nix might want Webb to call the plays. Part of being a good head coach is recognizing when you might have to make a switch. And the switch in this case, in my opinion, is Sean giving up play calling. Sam BBM, $20 super chat. Thanks, my friend. Hi, Trace. I'm Sam from New Mexico. Hope you're staying safe and warm there in Dallas. I'm shocked about the Lombardi firing, but isn't Payton pretty much our OC already? It seems like a move to keep VJ and Webb on staff. It does, but I would caution you to think outside the box for a second. Why would someone as young and has such opportunity as Webb to go somewhere else and call plays, which he wants to do, why would he then, what's stopping him from going to the Raiders? Nothing. Unless Sean has said, we will allow you to call plays. That's what this signifies to me. I could be wrong. But then I still don't understand why you would fire Lombardi if nothing is going to change play calling wise. Because the argument right now is, he keeps young talent in-house. Young talent in-house to do what? To do what? If he's not calling plays, what is he doing? Like that's the part that I'm just it's not clicking to me why this move is made unless it's for that reason. Yeah, this is this is huge. This is huge. And also, one of the things that Sean said, I'll read you this little tweet here from Chris Thomason. Give me a second. Here is a tweet from Chris Thomason that I think is pretty telling. If I could find it really quick. I don't know if I'm going to find it.
Make sure you are subscribed if you're not already. Because even when the offensive coordinator gets fired, we got live as fast as possible. This is the type of stuff you're going to get all season long, all off season long. Mm-hmm. I mean, don't miss out, guys. This past season was just the beginning for Sean Payton's Denver Broncos. And when Bo comes back next year, the sky's the limit.
I don't know why I can't find this now for whatever reason.
So hit that sub button. Join the family. Daily videos.
Here it is. I found it.
He found it.
Okay, here's what it says. One moment. Here it is. Speaking today before it surfaced that Broncos coach Sean Payton had fired offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi, Payton shrugged off the criticism of the fourth down call versus the Patriots, but said he still regrets the play call rather than the decision. So even Sean is recognizing that it wasn't a great play call there. I don't think Sean Payton has a problem giving up the play calling to Davis Webb. I really don't. And then Payton would be able to manage the game. He'd be able to manage the game more effectively. I think it's pretty significant why they're doing this. That's just my point of view, though. You don't have to agree with me. I'm just saying. I mean, it's just that, like, I keep beating a dead horse, but I can't wrap my brain around any other reason why you'd make this move. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think this move signifies? Why fire Lombardi? Let me know. I'm genuinely curious as what you guys have to say. This show is by the people, for the people. What legacy? His legacy of being a winning coach? He can do that without the play calling. He's won a Super Bowl. His legacy's pretty set. He's a Hall of Fame head coach. Okay, but to keep Webb, yes, but why keep Webb? Why keep Webb in building? Webb's not going to stay just for a cursory promotional title where he doesn't get to do anything.
You guys got to play 4D chess here. Like, Webb, from everything we've heard, basically has the job secure in Las Vegas.
I'm almost positive that if he wants the job, it's his.
It's his job. So, to be the head coach and to call plays, why he would take a promotion for a lesser job, I'm saying head coach compared to offensive coordinator. I think that the Broncos are a better team than the Raiders, obviously, but a lesser job, unless he's going to call plays. Because if he's just going to get promoted to then sit there and not do anything, he's just going to go take the job in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So,
if I told you guys right now, let's say I come to you and I'm your boss, and I say to you, okay, you've got an opportunity to go across the street and work at our rival competition, and you'll get a job title increase, so you'll get the promotion, you'll get the raise, and you get to run your own shit over there, or we're going to fire the guy that's right ahead of me or right ahead of you, promote you, you don't get a raise, but you just get the title raise. Like, you just get the title, and I'm still running shit. Why would you stay? Why would you stay? Unless there was a perk in it for you to stay. Like, everybody who keeps saying, oh, it's just to keep Webb. It's just to keep Webb. Keep Webb to do what? What do you keep Webb for?
I do also want to say, too, I am seeing a few comments in here that are saying, like, oh, but the Raiders suck and the Broncos are really good. Like, that's true. Nobody's saying that the Raiders are good, but every coach that's in the National Football League wants to be a head coach. So if the Las Vegas Raiders, if John Spytek, Tom Brady, Mark Davis come to you and say, we want you to be our guy. You have the number 1 overall pick in the draft. You're probably going to obviously take Fernando Mendoza, but you have the number 1 pick in the draft. You can take your guy. Like, I don't care. Like, Jacksonville, they were a mess. Liam Cohen comes in, and they're a playoff team. I'm not saying it's going to happen in Las Vegas, but you've got Brock Bowers, Max Crosby, Ashton Genty at your disposal. You have the number 1 pick in the draft. Like, I get that the team's not good, but everyone would be killing to be a head coach in the National Football League. So I get
let me bring up another point to you. If Webb takes the Raiders job, guys, he gets the number 1 overall pick. He gets to call plays. He gets a guaranteed 4-year contract deal, job security in Vegas. Why wouldn't he do that? Why wouldn't he do that? He gets to do everything he wants to do as the head coach. Why wouldn't he take that job? Unless his heart remains in Denver and he wants to call plays for Bo. And he wants to win a Super Bowl. That would be the reason. So for people like Honey Bear, who are sitting here saying the only thing it's doing is giving him a cursory title promotion, I think that's insane. And if that happens, then Davis Webb made a stupid decision. Because why would you just get promoted in-house to do nothing? That makes no sense. Let's see. Take a new job where I get to do everything and I get more money, or keep a slightly better title increase for no extra money and no extra responsibility. I think I know what I'm taking.
Guys, just because
Vegas
is a bad team doesn't mean they're not going to take a head coaching job in the NFL to do what they want. Like, guys, we know Vegas sucks. Like, we're Bronco fans. Of course we hate Vegas. We know Vegas sucks.
Okay.
But it's still a head coaching job in the NFL with the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Sure. Okay. Rob makes a good point. Offensive coordinator is not nothing, even if you don't call plays. Then what was Joe Lombardi's job?
They fired him. They went 14-3 when they made the championship game.
Everybody in the comment section says Lombardi didn't do shit. So what's the job? What is offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos if Sean Payton is calling the plays? You are scheming the game. You're helping scheme the game.
Why?
But then why would you take that job if you knew you weren't going to call plays when you could go do it somewhere else? How is this not clicking? Like, I feel like you guys just want to argue with me.
No, I get what it is. I understand what it is. They want Webb to stay. They hate the Raiders. I get it. I understand.
I really don't get it, man.
The Raiders stink. I get it. It's the bias against the Raiders. I totally understand where they're coming from. Bronco fans hate the Raiders. I hate the Raiders. We all hate the Raiders. Of course. But you got to think a little bit logically.
They get Fernando Mendoza, Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, Max Crosby. The Raiders have pieces put in place as a core foundation. They might not be a good team. They might not have a good secondary. They might not have a great offensive line. They might not have a lot of great. But if you put Davis Webb in Las Vegas, he's going to do everything in his power to build it to the point where they are competitive. So I agree that Sean wants to keep Davis Webb in-house. How do you keep someone in-house who's going to take an offensive or a head coaching job? There's only one way.
Someone's making the argument, they gave Pete Carroll his worst year. Yeah, but Geno Smith was also his starting quarterback for a majority of it. And have we ever thought that maybe Pete Carroll wasn't that great of a coach anymore?
DC Viper brings up a great point. If I'm Webb, I take the head coaching job and I build my legacy. You would get automatic job security, guys. They would give you that job for 4 years. 4 years to build everything with Fernando Mendoza.
You have the opportunity to completely turn the ship in Las Vegas with a fan base that's probably the most rabid fan base in all of the NFL. He'd be royalty to Raider Nation if he did that. With some intriguing pieces, the chance at the number 1 overall pick. I mean, shoot, man.
Danny, that's what we're saying. We are saying Sean called the plays. The reason you'd fire Joe Lombardi is to make someone else the play caller, namely Davis Webb, to keep him in-house. The only way you're going to keep him in-house is if you give him offensive play calling duties.
While you're here, 4 likes away from 100. Can we get to 100 likes? Let's go.
All right. Deep breath. Deep breath. If you want your question answered, best way to do it is send in a super chat so we see it. We got 346 people that are in the building with us right now. All right. I think we can jump into our cut now. What do you say? Can we message Dilly and ask him if he's ready to highlight cut real quick? Like, I don't want to argue with people here, and I don't want to sound like I'm coming across as a dick, but the logic of the chain of command here makes too much sense to keep continuing to call plays and make one minuscule hire, and not even a hire, a promotion. It would be an in-house promotion that really doesn't do anything for the Broncos. Jake. Jabeezy, I agree with you, man. How do I think the offense is going to look with Davis Webb calling plays? A lot more aggressive. Yes, Jake is correct. That is a long-standing joke that Moose hates Riley Moss. All right, let's do this. Yep, let's do it. Breaking news, Broncos country. The Denver Broncos have fired Joe Lombardi, offensive coordinator, after a 14-3 season. Now, I'm sure, as we've seen already, as we are recording this live, that there's going to be many Broncos fans that disagree with how I see this. And I do believe that this move is indicative of something big to come in 2026. That's why it's huge news. It is big news. Because based off of the logic following what is going on currently in the NFL with Davis Webb and his head coaching search, this would be the reason that the Denver Broncos would keep Davis Webb to promote him to offensive coordinator and ultimately call the plays. We'll explain coming up here in just a moment. This is, of course, why you sub, though. All Broncos news all the time. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. I'm going to keep you updated with every single move, every single offensive coordinator decision, and interview that's going on for the Denver Broncos. So make sure you lock us in and hit subscribe. Here's the major question that everybody's asking. Why is this important if Sean Payton called plays? Well, that's because it's Davis Webb's job to lose now. I'll explain. Sean Payton calls plays in 2025. Davis Webb is a leading candidate to get the Raiders head coaching job. Sean Payton wants to keep Davis Webb in-house. How do you keep a guy that's going to be getting a head coaching job in-house? You make him the play caller. We've had questions all year long about Payton's play calling. This entire season, it's been up, it's been down, it's been left, it's been right, it's been screens, it's been non-screens. It's just been all over the map. Webb has helped develop Bo Nix and Jarrett Stidham. And George Payton said, we're going to be more aggressive this season. I don't think he was just talking about free agency and the draft. Giving the play calling duties to Davis Webb is an aggressive move for the Broncos. It is also what would keep him with the Broncos. Because if I told you you had an opportunity to go to a different job that paid you more money with a better title, was more flexibility, and you could run your own staff, or you could stay with the current job that you're in, you could get a slight promotion in your title for no extra money and no other duties, why would you take that? It doesn't make any sense, except for the fact that if you wanted to call plays for Bo Nix, this allows Sean Payton to manage the game now. So if Payton gives up the play calling duties to Davis Webb, then obviously, he can now sit back and manage the game more effectively. He doesn't have to worry about the play calling aspect of it. And I do think that Sean Payton trusts Davis Webb, because if he trusted Joe Lombardi more, he wouldn't have fired him. So this is to keep a young offensive talent, a young offensive mind in your system, developing your quarterback. But it doesn't stop at just the game planning. It has to go into the play calling. And Bo, this last year, notably, was good, but I think there's another level. I think there's another level to Bo. I think you can see 4,200 yards. I think you can see 30 touchdowns. I think you could see less than 10 interceptions. Webb was 10 times more aggressive in the preseason calling plays for Jarrett Stidham and Sam Ehlinger than Sean Payton was even in the regular season. Sean Payton has a very vanilla style of game plan. He likes to throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage, get the ball in the hands of the playmakers, and let them work. Davis Webb likes to run dual tight end sets, more shots downfield off play action, and less screen passes called. That's the point here, is that you would be designing an offense to look differently and look more like something that the San Francisco 49ers would play, to run something more like the Los Angeles Rams would play or the Seattle Seahawks would play. Multiple tight end sets, more under center, more play action. Hell, look at what Ben Johnson did with Caleb Williams. They led the league in big play percentage. I'm sure you want to see a little bit more of that, more calculated shots downfield than what we saw this year, which was a whole lot of, not dink and dunk, but it was vanilla. It was boring. You saw it in so many different games. And I'm not saying that going 14-3 means that we have to switch up the entire offensive playbook. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, how often did you, a Broncos fan, sit back and question, why did Payton run that play? Why did Payton throw a screen pass on 3rd and 8? Instead of throwing the ball at the line of scrimmage, throwing the ball at the sticks. We talked about it all year on this very channel. So this, to me, signifies that the Denver Broncos want to go out and be more aggressive, not only in what their roster personnel is going to look like, but also in their coaching development. And Sean Payton, the sign of a great coach, is recognizing when you need to make slight adjustments. I think Sean Payton is one of the best game plan designers of all time, in terms of understanding what a defense is going to throw at you, understanding what kind of play packages to call and to design. But I think he needs situational play calling that in the hands of somebody else. And that guy's going to be Davis Webb. So what does this signify to you? To me, it means Davis Webb is going to be your offensive coordinator. And he's going to call plays. And if he doesn't call plays, why would you give up the opportunity to go be a head coach somewhere, even if it is with the Las Vegas Raiders? Now, coming up next, we're going to move on from the coaching thing for just a second. And we're going to focus primarily on what this means if you do have Davis Webb calling plays. What does it mean for the offense, and who can they go get to make sure that what they want to run is something that is unguardable in 2026? I'll explain coming up here in just a second. Before that, though, I got to tell you about our friends over at Rocket Money. Listen, Rocket Money saves me countless hours every single month dedicated to my finances, and now in a singular app, nice and easy. Makes it super compact and available for me to just not worry about it, because Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Their dashboard lays out your total financial picture, including bill due dates and paydays, in a way that is easy to digest. You can even automatically create custom budgets based off of your past spending. Rocket Money is user-friendly and continuously saves me money every single month. Rocket Money has saved users over $2.5 billion, including $880 million in canceled subscriptions alone. Their 10 million members save up to $740 a year when they use all of the app's premium features. So do me a favor, download the app today and go to rocketmoney.com, /Broncos chat. That's rocketmoney.com /Broncos chat. Rocketmoney.com /Broncos chats. I'll have all of that in the comments and description of today's video. So let's look at the Broncos pass catchers for a second. Just take a good look at this real quick. Your leading wide receiver was Courtland Sutton. And Courtland Sutton had 10 drops this season. Troy Franklin had 4 or 5 drops. Marvin Mims had a couple of drops. Evan Ingram had a few drops. The Broncos were second in the NFL in drops this year at 42. Only behind the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that's a problem. I've been beating the drum that you need to focus heavily on the offensive side of the ball, including wide receiver and running back. Wide receiver targets to go out and get in free agency: Alec Pierce from Indianapolis and Romeo Doubs from Green Bay. Now, I would be more happy with Pierce, but Doubs works just as well. He's a player that is very versatile in his game, can do a lot, can stretch him out wide, can put him in the slot. You can kind of maneuver him like a chess piece pretty much everywhere. Excuse me, have a little bit of gas coming up. But here's where I ultimately think the Broncos need to go. You need a true burner to take the top off the defense and stretch that ball down the field. You really do. What's the one thing the Broncos lacked in their wide receiver game? Somebody that was a true down-the-field route runner. Marvin Mims is developing into that. But Marvin Mims is also really good at the line of scrimmage in the screen game. He's also a very versatile tool in special teams. I don't think his game has developed quite yet into that of a true explosive down-the-field player. Alec Pierce is. He is. Evidenced by the last 2 years. Ranked second in yards per reception this last year, and first in 2024. So first and second, respectively, in yards per reception. That's unbelievable. And take a look at the numbers. 84 targets, 47 receptions, over 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, and an average of 21.3. This is not a guy that runs a 3-yard drag. This is not a guy that runs a 6-yard stick. This is a guy that is going to run a post route. He's going to run a deep dig. He's going to run a go route. He is going to make sure that Bo Nix launches that ball down the field for more explosive chunk plays. It is finally time, if you're the Denver Broncos looking back at the season, to go all in on offense. You've already got one of the best defenses in the NFL. You've already got the best pass rush in the NFL. You've already got a young core group of players in Q Robinson and Savion Jones, who didn't really play that much this year, that are ready to fill in those roles if they need to. Jahdae Barron's going to get better. I firmly believe in all of this. Jonah Ellis is getting better. We have such a good foundational group of defensive players. It's time to identify the issue. The issue was the Broncos' offense was just okay. They were just okay. That's it. And the drops don't help. I would never say the Broncos' offense was bad, because you can't go 14-3 and be a bad offense. But it wasn't one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL. It wasn't on par with what the Bears were doing, or what the Rams were doing, or what the Seahawks were doing, or the Niners were doing. It was just okay. Now, if you don't want to go after anybody and spend that kind of money in free agency, here's some other draft targets you could go after. Casey Concepcion is a true burner, kind of like Alec Pierce from Texas A&M. I got to watch a lot of him play this year because my brother went to Texas A&M, so I got to watch a lot of Texas A&M football. This guy's a burner. He reminds me a lot of Alec Pierce. Jadarian Price, as a Notre Dame fan, is an explosive back, a workhorse back, who was only second behind the best running back in college football in Jeremiah Love. And then Josiah Trotter on the defensive side of the ball, because I do think the Broncos need to attack that linebacker position, regardless of if Alex Singleton or Justin Strnad plays. But there you go. There's 2 draft targets right there. I just gave you a couple wide receivers to go after. You have to make a splash on offense. And I think the first move that this indicates of trying to go after and reshape the offensive strategy is by firing Joe Lombardi in order to make Davis Webb your offensive coordinator and have him call plays. Again, one more time, this is exactly why you sub. All Broncos news all the time. Off-season content, draft content, free agency content, firings, hirings, you name it, we got it. Make sure you hit subscribe. That's all I got for you today, Broncos Country. As always, my friends, a mile-high salute. Be cool. Cool. Got a couple of soups. Let's get Breece Hall and Alec Pierce and David Njoku. I love Alec Pierce. I love Breece Hall. David Njoku, come back to me on. The reason I say that is because there's a lot of thought that he's going to follow Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta, especially if Kyle Pitts leaves, because he's hitting free agency as well. David, only other possible reason is Lombardi's a scapegoat. Scapegoat for what? What do you need to be a scapegoat for? You went 14-3. You made the AFC Championship game. It was a very successful season. I don't know what the scapegoat comment's for. Like, I'm not trying to be rude. I really am not. I'm saying, like, scapegoat for what? Because if George Payton came to Sean Payton and said, what went wrong? Was Sean throwing Joe Lombardi under the bus? No. Payton's going to say, what do you mean what went wrong? We went 14-3. We made the AFC Championship game. We played the second half in a blizzard. We were 4 points away, if you're being technical about it, from making the Super Bowl. Nothing went wrong. But to me, what this signifies is George Payton noticed something that everybody else noticed. Sean had very spotty play calling throughout the entirety of the NFL season, and he's saying, I want to keep Davis Webb. Everybody wants to keep Davis Webb. We don't want him going to Las Vegas, so how do we keep him? We make him the play caller. Keeping Webb to do what, guys? I do hate Riley Moss. I'm just playing. Why would you keep Davis Webb if he's not going to do anything? Oh, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Bash, I agree with you. I loved Davis Webb's play calling. I said that in the preseason. After watching Sean Payton's play calling and Davis Webb's play calling firsthand, I think we can all unanimously agree Webb is a much more aggressive play caller. Keep Webb to grow Nix. Okay? But Bo's not going to grow if you have the same play calling as last year. All right, Devil is just trolling. He's saying trade for Russell Wilson. What's up, Joseph? Good to see you, buddy. Like, I feel like you guys are missing a step here. Some of you, not all of you. Some of you are missing a step here. If you're just keeping Davis Webb, why? Tell me why. What's the reason you keep him? To prevent him from going to Las Vegas? That's not going to work. Thank you, Proud. Thank you, Proud. Thank you. Yes. Proud Ajax. He gets it. I also agree, Nigel. What is the point of having an offensive coordinator if the head coach is calling the plays other than just game planning? So if you're going to make the argument that you want to keep him to develop Bo Nix, how is Bo going to develop if the play caller is still Sean Payton? Tell what to Andy Reid? Tell what to Andy Reid? What? Andy Reid is a better play caller than Sean Payton. I like the move. I want to keep Davis Webb. I want to see Davis Webb call plays. That's what I'm trying to get across to people. I think some people just like arguing with me. I think that's kind of what it is. I think people just want to watch me get angry. Although this is one of the best shorts we've ever done. This is crushing. The one that we just put out, yeah. Yes, I agree, Robert Drake. I agree with you. Webb could also take the Cardinals' job. He's not in contention for it. Learn from the best. Do you think Sean Payton is the best play caller in the NFL? Does anybody believe that Sean Payton's the best offensive play caller in the NFL? Raise your hands. I think Sean Payton is far from the best play caller in the NFL. I can name 8 play callers that are better than Sean Payton right now. We got a D, B, 4, L, Michael Ronquillo. Bang! Just when I thought we were getting out of here. I'll give you 8 guys that are better play callers right now than Sean Payton. Ben Johnson is a better play caller than Sean Payton. Sean McVay is a better play caller than Sean Payton. Andy Reid's a better play caller than Sean Payton. Kyle Shanahan's a better play caller than Sean Payton. There's 4. No, stop. I don't know if that. Don't start with that. Don't start with that. Don't start with that. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I could make an argument that Clint Kubiak is a better offensive play caller right now than Sean Payton. There's 5. Liam Cohen's a better play caller than Sean Payton. There's 6. I'm not talking about head coach. I'm talking about play caller. You can be a better head coach and not be Nick Sirianni is the perfect example. Nick Sirianni is a good head coach. He's not a play caller. Matt LaFleur is a better play caller. I just did admit that he's a great head coach. He's not a great play caller. So why would you promote Davis Webb to learn from the best if he's not one of the best play callers? That's what Webb wants to do. He wants to call plays. Yes, Bash, I do. I think he's going to give it up this year. I know that there's a lot of people that agree with me. And I guess the thing that I'm struggling with here is that if this is my job and somebody called me and said, Moose, we want to make you the host of your own TV show on Fox Sports, and we'll give you all this money, you can run your own staff, you can do all of this, right? They give you that opportunity. And then my bosses come here and they say, hey, Moose, we want to make you one step higher as a host than you already are, but for no extra money, but you do get the title. That's it. You don't get anything else. No more responsibility. You just get the title upgrade. Why would I take that if I can have another opportunity that has all of the other benefits? I'm not leaving. I'm giving you guys a hypothetical. That's a hypothetical. Moose, what do you think of the receiving situation? Should we move off of Mims as the... Hold on. Should we move off of Mims as the hard as that is? No. I think you keep Marvin Mims. He's one of the best gadget players, probably the best gadget player in the entire NFL. Oh, hold on. Here, Jack, answer a couple things here. I got to answer Dylan real fast.
All right, I'm answering a couple things. At least y'all don't have Tommy Reese calling plays. Look, I was scratching my head. I produced a majority of our Browns watch parties this year. It was bad. And it wasn't, and Tommy Reese called plays for a lot of that. Now it was Stefanski's playbook, but that's going to be the same thing in Atlanta. So not great. I do feel bad for Atlanta in that way. AJ Brown. I don't know about that one. I don't know if he's going anywhere, honestly.
I think he's going to New England.
You think?
Yes. He loves Mike Vrabel.
Gut feeling tells me Lombardi had criticized Payton in his role. Webb will follow Payton with more play calling responsibilities. I don't know about that. Because again, it's at the end of the day, and this is like Webb's got the leverage here.
Yep.
He can just go to Las Vegas and be a head coach. Like this is not nobody in the Denver organization has any leverage right now. Because Webb can just go take the head coaching job in Vegas and run everything.
Here, yes, I agree with you. And here's what's most likely most likely happened. All of the Raiders head coaching stuff came to a head. Sean called in Davis Webb privately and said, "What's it going to take to keep you here? We want you to stay. We don't want you going to Las Vegas. What's it going to take?" And Davis Webb said, "Give me the playbook. Let me call the plays." That's the only reason you fire Joe Lombardi. All right. Who do we move off of? We don't move off of anybody. We're not moving off of anybody. We add another player. We add another wide receiver. And if you had to move off of any wide receiver, you'd move off a little Jordan Humphrey. I love Casey Concepcion. I love Concepcion. I think he is excellent. He reminds me of Alec Pierce. Yes, correct, Robert. Troy Franklin was by far and away better this year than he was last year. It's not even close. I think you're going to see Pat Bryant turn into like Michael Thomas light. I don't know that he'll ever be Michael Thomas, but that's the kind of game that he resembles. All right, I think that's all we got for today. All right, my friends. Thank you for joining us. We'll know in due time what the plan is after the hiring of whoever the next offensive coordinator is. So once Davis Webb gets hired as the offensive coordinator or somebody else, what's up? Yes, that's true. They have to comply with the Rooney Rule. So they have to interview 2 African-American or minority head coaches in the NFL before making any decision. So you're not going to get any decision anytime in the next 24 hours. So let's just make that clear. You're probably not going to get any decision until next week. That's my guess. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Mile high salute. Be cool.